Hi, everybody. Welcome to Anita Lee Candidly. And um, I'll be looking down a lot because that's where all my controls are. But I'd like to welcome you to this month's live stream where I recap. Okay, just a minute because I have an echo and I'm not sure why. Oh, I know why. Okay, just a moment. Hi, Heather. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you and all you do to help me keep going. And I'm going to step away for a moment to get rid of the echo because I know where it's coming from now. Just a moment. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. That I have learned from Aubrey is just things not going the way you plan. And so there it is. It happens. And today I have a list of the topics that I've covered for this month. And initially, I went back to my roots and decided that it was time to revisit what is basically my foundation, which is um, the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. And so I mentioned those, and I got some comments that they were helpful to a lot of people who aren't alcoholics as well. And that's always my hope that everyone can find value in the things I do. And so I'm very glad that that was received as well as it was. And then there was permission to grieve all things. Now, that one, as do many of my videos, takes a little bit of introspection and reflection. I have to go back to times that were not so pleasant, um, that were not so pleasant in my life uh, to think of how to put what I want to say to you into a video or into images and words. And so the grieving was a good reminder for me to remember because I like to think that things don't bother me. And that's just not true. Things do bother me. I've just learned to walk through them a little quicker than I used to. And so part of that walking through is definitely grieving what I think I've lost and holding on to knowing that everything is already okay and that the value of what I think I've lost is not as great as I may have put it in my head. And so grieving, I think, is healthy and should not be something that is bypassed or made small. It all matters. I'm going to check in on some comments now. Heather, she likes the don't go away screen, which I never thought I would have to use, but there it was in need. So I used it. So thanks for liking it. I'm glad it came in handy. Next, I'll have to learn to mute the mic when I do that because I could hear every movement I was making. But, that's why I'm doing this, so I can learn as I go. So let's go on to the next topic, which is motivations, and particularly failed motivations. Most of my video ideas come from conversations that I have with friends and loved ones. And in one conversation, my friend said, I don't understand why I can't be motivated like I used to be. And so that gave me pause to question myself about that. And so what I found was that in my prior years, my ego motivated me more. And now that I don't let that rule me, and it's more about me being pleased with me. And that is not to say that ego isn't involved in that, but it's now a matter of coming from me as opposed to coming from outside. And I haven't yet gotten the hang of getting excited or worried or, the type of caring I used to give to what other people thought. I haven't gotten the hang of giving that to myself yet. And so that's something I'm constantly working on. And I don't worry about it because I know I'm great like I am. And if something needs to change direly, then it'll happen because I tend to listen to my body and to my guidance for what actions to take. And I'm glad to say that within this month, even since that video, I have made some changes that at one point, not too long ago, I didn't think was possible. So I'm living proof for myself and for you that it's never too late. I heard someone say it's never too late and you never get it done. So don't worry about it. All right, I'm going to check comments again and see if we have any more. Okay, no more comments. So I will move on to the next topic that I covered this month. And maybe I should save that one for after. I'm going to move around so it's not in the right order, but I'm going to talk about Halt and then come back to the holidays since we're one day away. Just Halt is something I learned in recovery, and it has sustained me countless times. So the H is for hungry, the A is for angry, the L is for lonely, and the T is for tired. And so whenever I get to a place where I seem stuck or nothing is working or nothing is making sense to me because I'm so scrambled, then I halt. And I can't tell you how many times that has helped me to change my actions and change my perceptions and choices that I make to move forward from that point. So it doesn't have to be all of them. It can be just one of them. It can be all of them. And um, I've learned to eat if I'm hungry instead of worrying about the clock or what someone might think about me eating at a particular time. Um, if I need to eat, I need to eat. And I do that. I listen. And if I'm angry, I think angry is probably one of the more difficult ones to flow through because, first of all, it depends on the source of your anger. And secondly, it depends on your decision to step back and look at the whole situation, which usually when you're angry, that doesn't come easy. So um, it takes a little training and a little, what's the word? You got to stick to it. Can't think of the word right now, but it's a learned thing to recognize your anger and to assess it and then to make the choices that are necessary to move through it and not stay in it or use it as an excuse for bad behavior. Um, then there's lonely. Now, when I made the video, for I make my video images mostly in Canva, and I just search for a word and that feels right to me. And so I searched lonely, and every image that appeared was of someone alone. And I thought, okay, that's not the lonely I'm talking about. Because you can be lonely and in a massive group of people, or with a small group of people and all loved ones and feel lonely. Um, there's no formula that says what is lonely. It's a feeling that comes from inside of you. So when you feel lonely, you may need to step out of that group or go away mentally for a moment to remember that first of all, that it's okay to feel lonely. Sometimes that is just what jars you back into appreciation, and that's what I suggest: remembering and appreciating what you have, who you have, and oops, and that you're not alone even if you feel lonely. So I'm going to check comments again and see if we got any new ones before I move on to the final topic. Good. Heather says, I've also been trying to be more aware of these signals. And yeah, I think the key is awareness, because a lot of our lives we are led to move on before we move through. And so if you're not aware that an emotion is taking place or a feeling is taking place, then there's no way you can approach it to alter it if you'd like. And Heather also agrees about the loneliness. And yeah, that one I struggled with to try to put into words because it's different for everybody. And I know I've been with people and felt very lonely. And that's when I question that and reassess and realize I don't have to feel that way. Um, that there it is, and now it can go. I don't have to hold on to it. Um, so I'm going to go on to the last topic, if I can find it. And that is the holidays and what comes with them. And I put extra video because it was an unplanned, it wasn't a Monday video. It was um, just something I wanted to say. So, um, and that was kind of the topic of today's live stream is the end of the year. And that was my coy way of saying the holidays because there's so many holidays within this, next couple of month period and so many stresses that go along with it. The stresses come with the joy. I don't know why those are packaged together, but they seem to be a lot of the time. So, like I said in my video, when I was drinking, there were circumstances that I made into reasons for drinking. And family was the first one I could think of. And um, society, there are so many things. And I tend to not want to blame anything or anyone for my drinking. So I tend to try to stay real vague about that. And I know there were factors that come from all the things I mentioned in the video that help to build my case against sobriety. Let's say that. I I needed an excuse that could be seen by others to self-medicate. I was terrified. I was always scared. And the holidays amplified that because I knew physically I could not do everything that I thought I was supposed to do, which mainly was gift giving. But after that, for me, it was going to all these awful families and sharing the holiday with them. And that's what I used to do. I used to go to all my former homes and um, any extensions that they had since I lived with them, I would include them too. And it was just piling on turmoil. It was, I can laugh now because it seems so ridiculous to me, but it was so real. It was so debilitating. It was crippling because I had a fear that if I couldn't live up to the ideas that I had in my head about how to be a good person and how to behave properly, then the world would crumble. My world would crumble, and I couldn't have that. I needed to do things like work and smile and and function. And it's an amazing time. And like I say in the video, the way that I found to maintain my commitment to my sobriety is to go inside, which I hesitate to say because it's so thrown around now. Like um that phrase, go inside. But it's the truth for how I stay sober and maintain my sobriety, or that's the same thing, or maintain my sanity is what I was trying to say. Um, During the holidays is when I feel overwhelmed, I shut down, and not shut down in a way that is harmful, but in a way that is healing. I go inside and recall why I do what I do, how I came to be who I am, you know, stuff like that that helps me to feel stronger and to be able to face the world and stand on my foundation without worrying about falling. It's cool. All right. Check comments and let's see how you feel about this. Yeah, Heather says, I shut down when overwhelmed as well. And I think a lot of us do. But again, it's one of those things that not a lot of us have awareness of. So um, we found a lot of labels to attach to shutting down. And basically, what I found in my experience is it's all shutting down. It's all wanting to escape the reality that is facing you. And it comes in many forms. Like I said, it has many labels. And for me, um, for me to work through things, I've had to give up my labeling practice because sometimes the labels get in the way of the solution for me. If I don't call it anything in particular, or I call it several different things, then I still feel like I have the freedom to move around and feel my way through in it the way I choose, as opposed to following the label and the dictated actions that go with labels usually. And so I'm sure that uh, shutting down is a big part of this holiday in terms, or this time of year, not just the holiday, this time of year in terms of people finding ways to soothe themselves privately so that they can go out in public and perform the way they believe they're intent or they're expected to perform. And I don't see anything um, unique about that. I think it helps. That's another thing that I've found helps me through the holidays and the end of the year and all the things that I need to keep track of. And um, it is if it's kind of a misery loves company sort of thing. It's when I think of the other people who maybe or certainly are going through what I'm going through, or maybe feeling an emotion that I'm feeling that I don't think I should be feeling, or something like that, then I feel a little stronger because I feel somehow I'm not alone. And I paused because I thought of community. And when you feel the presence, or even real or imagined, when you feel the presence of something to fall on or to lean against, then you can steady yourself with that and get on with what you think should come next. And so I'm hoping for everyone here or who watches this later that you have pleasant holidays and the end of the year doesn't become a burden for you, or or if it has already happened, you learn to take a moment for yourself and leave out all the stuff that's stressing you and concentrate in your mind and in your heart on the things that bring you joy at this time of year. Then you've got control. Then you're in the driver's seat, as it were, because um, the external factors that we face regularly, not just at the end of the year, not just during the holidays, but on a regular basis in life, the external factors can weigh you down and they can take you out. But you have now the secret to not letting that happen. You shut it down, go inside, take a moment, close your eyes if that helps. It helps me to close my eyes. And instead of listing all the things that need to get done or that didn't get done or whatever horror is going on in your brain, list the things that did get done. List the ones who love you. List the ones you love, whether they love you back or not. List what you're happy about at that very moment. Like sometimes I'm sitting and I'm happy. I can feel the ground with my feet. How crazy is that? But sometimes that is all it takes to bring me back to the reality of my world, which is good. I want to say all good, but that's a bit of an overstatement. But it's good. It's more good than bad. And let's close out our year just clinging to that like it is a life buoy. It's more good than bad. Because there's a lot of bad, but it's more good than bad. So, anyway, I am going to come to a close here. And thank you. Thank you so much for your time and attention. And as always, I'm going to close out with what I say regularly at the end of every video. You have a happy holiday, and I hope you remember everything is already okay. And I'll see you next month toward the end of the month.